The training planner is a new feature in the game that should help your team vision come true. Let's check it out.
In the training planner, you'll be able to set up a few consecutive training regimes and to see how it will influence your current players, the increase of his age, wage, and skills. His salary would be half of what I was paying before. There is an alternative for managers without a supporter. I would love this to be implemented in the training planner.
Hey guys, it's Uncle Mish, and a few days ago Hattrick released a new feature called Training Planner. It is a powerful tool that will help you plan the future of your team. It is a supporter feature, and just as a disclaimer, I'm not trying to encourage you to buy supporters, and I'm not gaining anything by it. By the way, HT staff, maybe you could get a special tags so people could buy supporters using those tags for a discount price, and I could get credits or supporter months that I could use to donate as prizes for my TotoBet competitions. I do have a supporter package and I enjoy the game experience that we show me, but by no means it's not giving you any in-game advantage. What I would appreciate if you could just subscribe to my channel, like the videos that you enjoy and comment so I will know what interests you most and what other things you'd like me to create. And now to the feature. By the way, there is an alternative for managers without a supporter. In Hattrick Portal, which is a CHPP, they have another training planner. Essentially, they have pretty much the same features, and in my upcoming cycle training videos, I'll be using both planners just to help out managers with and without supporters. I will link the Hattrick Portal in the description of this video, so make sure to check it out. And now back to the planner. Where do you find it? You're going to My Club, Trainings, and here in Actions, you could see it just above the training estimation. Voila, you have the training planner. Where in the training planner, you'll be able to set up a few consecutive training regimes and to see how it will influence your current players, how it will increase their skills and also their wages and age. So I have a list of all my players. And I have already set up training regimes, but don't worry, we'll do it all together. Just to show you, I have this player of mine who is LFL sorted by scoring. He is currently 18-year-old, and I have set a few training regimes, each one of them for a different amount of weeks, and I have checked out what he will look like when he'll be 30-year-old. And in yellow you'll see the skills that he will increase, and also here you see the increase of his salary. It is in my local currency, but obviously you'll have it in yours. So we have the increase of his age, wage, and skills. And now let's play with it. I will just delete all the training regimes, and we are starting from scratch. I have my players right now here. And let's say I want to start with scoring training because I want this player to become a powerful normal forward. And for this, I have my training set up. It's the first training. I could play with amount of weeks. Let's say if he'll train only 1 week, he will pop, because he's really close to popping up from brilliant to magnificent scoring. If I'll add 5 weeks, he'll still remain at magnificent. I have the opportunity to set the players that I want them to get the training, because scoring training, I can train 6 players, so we have 6 training slots. If I'm scrolling to the player, I can able to pick him up and to say, hey, you're getting a full training. I could say you're getting a full training. I could say you're getting a full training. And also I could check this bar here and I'll see the all list of my players. There is an easy way to sort them. I could do it by age, increasing or decreasing. I could do it by skills. Let's say I'm training scoring, so I want to train my forward. So the players with the most amount of scoring, I could just set them up. And now the scoring slots are open. I could say, okay, I don't want this 37-year-old player to get a training slot, so I'll pick someone else, maybe someone younger, or maybe I'll leave it with 5 slots because I will want to buy someone in the future. So right here, I have chosen 5 players to get this training regime. And let's say I want to train him until he is 18 scoring. So another thing that will help you out is toggle player estimation. I could check it out and see when he will increase his skills. It says, okay, he will increase his scoring skill in 1 week, then in another 8 weeks, another 8 weeks, another 10 weeks. So if you want to train him until magical, it will take you 68 weeks. No problem, I'll just check 68 weeks and update results. While I updated the results, I could see he will increase 7 levels of scoring, and that would be done. Another thing that you have here is training settings. Here you could set up the stamina that you are training, your training intensity, the trainer level, and the amount of assistance. If I'll have less assistance and I'll update the results, he will not increase this amount of weeks. I could use the toggle player estimation and it will take him 80 weeks to get to magical and not 68 like it was before. So if you're training properly, try to train the maximum way possible. That's his main skill. Now I want to increase another skill, his secondary skills, wing and passing, and afterwards playmaking. I could already see here the increase of the wage that he'll be getting. His overall wage will be 60,000 euros, and the increase is 55 or 58 because the salaries are very high. And now I could also see that he'll be training for 4 seasons and he'll be about 22 years old. Here on the plus, I could add another training regime. And this regime, I could set up the training settings. Maybe you want to train with a different stamina. Maybe your young player, he could play in the under 20 and the under 20 staff will ask you, hey, could you increase your stamina when the player is 19-year-old? So no problem, just break the training regime until 19, train him at 10% stamina and then increase the stamina and see how it will influence your trainer's progress. So now I have a second training. You see here, that's 68 weeks, and here I could play with the amount of weeks, and I could play with the training type. Let's say I want to train a secondary skill, and I'll pick crossing, which will train winger. And let's say I want my player to train until he has world-class wing, because I want him to be the best forward he could possibly be. And it will take him 27 weeks to train until he is 13. No problem, I'll set it to 27 and I'll update the results. Nothing happened. Why? Because I haven't picked him to get full training or partial training. I could do it in the player here page, or I could do it like here. It will be easier because I'll set everyone by their scoring, and I'll give my best trainees obviously the full training, full training, full training. Who else? You're getting a full training, and I could pick partial trainings for someone else. Cool. It's all sorted out. Update the results. Voila. Wing is trained by 13, and I know he'll be 24-year-old and his salary will be like this. If I want to know what his salary was before, it was about 60,000 euros, and here it increased slightly because I trained secondary skill and it doesn't really influence salaries too much. But I now see his training results. Let's add another one. This time it will be passing. Let's say I want to train his passing until he is supernatural, but I don't want it to be crossing training. I want it to be passing. And let's see, short passes. Cool. Update results. Nothing. Why? You know why. We have to pick up the full training. I could do it here or I could do it in the bar. And full training for everyone. update the results, and he'll be 25-year-old. Let's say you want to be a little bit competitive. And let's say you want to be a little bit competitive. We haven't checked until he is supernatural. It's 51 weeks. So 51 weeks. Because if I only give him 16 weeks, which is a season, he will increase only 4 levels. And I want more. So we said 51. 51. It will be 51 weeks. Bam. He is now at level 14. But let's say you want to be a little bit competitive because he'll be at the end of this training 27-year-old. Let's say after he's 26-year-old, you want him to have higher stamina. So if you want him to have slightly higher stamina, let's just add another one. And let's say, okay, we'll decrease here the training until he'll be, let's say, 26. Okay, another one, 26. 30 weeks of this training, and then I'll go to this training, and right now I'll pick again all my players to get the full training. And I'll update this, but this time I'll go to the training settings and I will increase their stamina to 15%. And I will update this. Another interesting thing, if you'll go downstairs, you could say copy to all periods, and then the training settings will be copied to everything. Make sure not to press it by mistake, because if at the end you want to train him at 30% stamina and you'll copy the results for all the training periods, it will mess up the weeks. But again, you could check it and fix it by sorting the criteria again. So I'm updating this, and this time let's see how many trainings you need. 22 weeks. So at this higher stamina it will be 22 weeks, and then set. I have my player with the desired amount of scoring, passing, and wing, and now I know that he'll be 27-year-old with those skills, and I want to add another one, which is playmaking. And this time I want his playmaking to be, let's say, 10. I need to switch it to playmaking. Where's our playmaker? Okay, here. To playmaking, and he'll be outstanding after 26 weeks while training at 15%, so no problem, 26 weeks. You know what? Let's say maybe I'll need higher stamina. Let's make it 20% stamina. Update the results. Okay. Outstanding 28 weeks. It increased 3 more weeks. Update the results. I did it. And now nothing happened. Why? I haven't chosen him. So let's choose him. Full training, full training, full training, full training, full training. The same amount of trainees that trained before. Someone for partial training if I'm interested. Update the results. Here we go. We have him. He'll be 28-year-old. He'll have a playmaking of 10. He'll have wing of 13, passing of 14, scoring of 18. And right here, if I want, I could add like the last regime. Let's say he'll be anti-level already, and let's give him scoring until the end. I'll choose him for full training, and let's say 30% stamina. Update. And by the player estimation, it doesn't matter how much I will train him after he is almost 30-year-old, 29 and 111 days. He'll even stay like magical very high. Only if I'll maybe decrease the stamina, but then he won't be anti-level because they need high stamina. So that's basically it. That will allow me to understand what's going on here. And why is it helpful? Well, first of all, you could see how this influences your players. You could know that in 10 seasons, your players will look like this. And you could know how much weeks you need to train everyone at what stamina levels and which with what training staff like coach assistants and the coach level to get to those levels. You could even plan and compare what will happen if for the all periods I'll have a different trainer or a different stamina share. So let's see right now. I also know his salary, and while I'm going between the periods, I already will know what his salary will be. So after he'll turn 22-year-old, I'm already paying a very high salary. So I could say, okay, I will pay this salary for him, and for him, and for him, and for him. My team cannot support this. I want to change my training regime. No problem. So I could say I want to train him not to magical level. Let's say I want to train him only to extraterrestrial level now, and I will train more scoring later. So it will take him only 38 weeks to train to this and not 68 weeks. No problem. I'll make it 38. Update. At this point, he'll be 16. His salary would be half of what I was paying before, and that will help me. It will help everyone. And now, while I'm training scoring, short passes with higher stamina, playmaking, I'm getting to the point that he already has playmaking, wing, passing, but less scoring that I want to do. But for the whole period until he's 27-year-old and not 29-year-old, he has lower salaries. And now for the less training, I'll just train for longer. Let's see. When I'm training at 30% stamina, how long will it take him to get to magical? 50 weeks. So let's say 50 weeks. This time, at the age of 30 and 28 days, he'll hit his levels, his target levels. So it's not much of a difference, as you could see at the age, maybe half a season here or there. But this way, I was able to save a whole lot of salaries that I'm paying. And a lot of times, managers will train too much and will hit very high levels, and then they'll team lose most of their funds that they saved, or they'll be almost bankrupting and will need to sell those players. So those are the features that I wanted to show you. You could set up the training periods. You could set each training period with a different amount of training setting and different stamina and so on. Use the toggle estimation just to see how much weeks you need to train at each period of time. Use this bar to pick more quickly the players that you want to train, if you want to give them partial training or a full training. And also you have a very easy view to see the increase of their TSI, the increase of their wage, and the increase of their skills and stamina, and also their age. And two things that I really thought that could help and I haven't found them. First of all, you could save this, and then your plan would be saved, and after 38 weeks, you'll get a notification that you're about to change a training, or your training period is over and you're doing this. Do you want to confirm? And that would be in the training page. And that's quite convenient. But the two things that I wanted to improve. First of all, it will be very helpful if I could set up two training plans. And then I could compare between them. Because right now I had to change. Okay, I'll decrease the amount of skills of the weeks trained at the beginning, and then I'll increase them at the end, and I'll have to check the training estimation and the ages of the players. Okay, cool. At each period of time I know what the increase of his age and so on. But if I could have like another line here with second plan, and then I could only maybe save one that will be my primary plan that the trainings will be influenced by others just for comparison. That's number one. Number two, I can only do this for players in my club. Yeah, it's like reasonable that I'll be only doing this. But when I'm trying to figure out my future plans, I would love to like create a player that it's not existing in my club, but we already have this like in matches and lineup simulator. If I'll scroll down below, I have add custom player, and I'll just add his skills and age. I would love this to be implemented in the training planner. Give me the ability to create a custom player, and I could figure out what his skills would be and how he will be influenced by those kind of training plans. Because maybe I have this player and he's in my youth academy, and I want to plan ahead. I don't want to make my training plan only after he's promoted to the senior squad. Let's summarize. I really love this feature because it helps you to plan the future trainings in your team, and it gives you a lot of abilities to play with stamina, training settings, and the players that you want to train. I would really love to have the ability to have multiple trains and to compare them, and also adding custom players just to see how they will be influenced by the trainings. But it gives you a very good understanding of what your future salaries could be, and also the amount of weeks that you need to train until your players are being fully trained. And now it's your turn to tell me, what do you think about this feature? Would you like to add something else to it? Or do you have a different idea of how to make use of this tool in a ways that I haven't showed you before? Please write a comment, and I always like to hear and read your thoughts. And as always, hope you enjoy my content. You are welcome to subscribe to the channel and like the video. And as always, just remember, Hattrick, it's more than a game, it's a community. And I'll definitely be seeing you on my next videos.